Hello, alright, how you doing? I've got a beer here. It's a Vermont IPA sent to me by Paul. Cheers, Paul. It's got Conan yeast in it, which is, I'm led to believe, is the Yeast Bay Vermont Ale. It means as much to me as it means to you fellas. I've not had a beer with that yeast in, I don't think. I've not tried it. So it's got to be worth giving it a go, isn't it? So let's give it a go. Open it up, give it a little bit of a pour and see how we get on with it. This has been in the fridge for quite a while actually, probably just over a week. And yeah, hopefully it tastes alright. I'm just going to leave that to settle just for a second while I talk to you about what else is going on. Not very much really. Been working hard this week, doing worky things as you do. No different to anybody else really, just doing work stuff. Just really knackered, having to use my brain for the first time in a couple of years. Which is always good, because you know there is a brain in there somewhere. And yeah, working hard and just doing the usual kind of things. Now I've got some brewing stuff to show you, and I'm going to stick it in here, and then I'll come back at the end as I usually do, and we'll have a taste test on this particular beer. And it's me throwing together the Youngs American IPA, but you're not seeing me throw in the hop bag after about day 5, I think 4 or 5, and it only took about 8 days really to ferment. It's completely finished now. I'm going to just let it settle for a while. Tomorrow I'm probably going to put some beer finings in there, because it's pellet hops in there for dry hopping, so there's going to be quite a lot of sediment. So I'll just throw some beer finings in there, leave it for another couple of days maybe before I bottle it. So yeah, you won't see me throwing in the hops, but you'll just have to take my word for it that I threw the bag of hops in there. But you'll see it in the ingredients and enjoy it, yeah, and I'll come back at the end. If you're wondering what this big pink line is under there, look, it's gone now. I just didn't straighten up the camera properly, a bit like that. But never mind. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, ta-da. So here we are then, fellas, look. There's a box. And it's an IPA box. And if we open up the box, maybe we can have a look and see what's in it. We've got some kit instructions. We've got a massive load of malt. We've got 20 grams of beer yeast. Lovely jubbly. We've got, what does that say? Hop pellets. American IPA. And we've got some brewing sugar, which is alright I suppose. I prefer it with malt to be honest, but you can't have everything. And we've got exactly the right amount of priming sugar, which is great. So let's get on with it. Over here you can see I've got my fermenting bucket, again filled up with water, and I've got Milton sterilising liquid in there. Having trouble getting hold of the tablets to be honest. I don't know if you guys are having the same problem. I prefer the tablets myself because you don't end up getting bleach everywhere. Yeah, but it's fine. You can see it's a bit dirty because I haven't washed it since I last brewed really. But it's fine, it's bleach in there, and I'll give it a spray of Star Sand before we use it anyway. There's some scissors in there to cut open the malt sachet. There's a paddle, of course, to stir it all up. And there's a blowout tube that I've stuck in there that was a little bit dirty, so I'm going to sanitise that too. Right, so what we need to do with this beer is put 3 litres of water on the boil, bring it up until it's boiling, chuck it in with the extract. Right, so while the 3 litres of water is on the stove boiling, I've put in some boiling hot water in here. I'm going to let that rest just for a little bit to loosen it up a bit before we chuck it into the fermenting vessel. Right, so there's our malt extract, fellas. What I've done is I've chucked it in some of the boiled water into there to get the bulk of it out. I mean, you're never going to get everything out unless you're that anal about it. And there's the rest of the boiled water, so I'm just going to chuck that in, top it up with water, and away we go. Now, as you can see, fellas, I've not filled it up with water yet because we've got this big brewing bag of sugar to chuck in, so I'll chuck that in. There we go. Chuck all that in there. This is obviously just there to bring the ABV up, really, to a reasonable amount. And then before we top it up with water, obviously we want to get all those lovely malts and sugars and everything as liquefied as we can. Don't want any clumps on the bottom. So just keep stirring it until the bulk of it is as liquidy as it can be, and you've not got no lumps. You'll feel, because you'll have some tape on the bottom of the spoon, and then all of a sudden it'll go, and you'll know that you've got rid of your clumps. And here we are then. So the last thing to do, sprinkle the yeast on. Now usually I put the beer in my temperature controlled beer fridge, but this time around I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it in the kitchen because the brewing temperature says between 20 and 24 degrees. My kitchen is always between 20 and 24 degrees. So yeah, we'll leave it out here. I'll give that a stir, put the airlock on, and we're done. Here we are then, there it is. It's in the fermenting bucket with an airlock. You can use an airlock if you want. I don't usually bother. I put a blowout tube in. After 3 or 4 days we'll put the hops in, and yeah, we'll leave it for another 4 or 5 days and we'll see how we get on. Well, there you go. That's basically what I did with it. As you can see, I just knocked it up together. It's really easy. It couldn't be any easier. It's as easy as something very easy indeed, and maybe just a little bit more easier than that. I do like the pouches rather than the tins, to be honest with you. I do prefer those. Make it a lot easier for you, not so much mess as well. You know, you can just sort of roll a pouch up and get the malt extract out. I put some hot water in there, stirred it around a little bit. Not boiling hot water, but it's hot enough to get you know, most of the malt that was stuck to the side of the pouch packet. You don't have to do that. However you want to do it, it's up to you, but I do it anyway because that's the sort of thing I do. I want to get the best out of it as I can. Yeah, here it is then. Here's Paul's beer. Now, as I say, it's been in the fridge, boys and girls. So it's going to be a little bit of a little bit of a chill haze, but it's looking all right, isn't it? What can we smell on it? Oh, it smells nice. It's got really sweet sort of citrusy smell on there. I really like the smell of that. It's not overpowering. You know, sometimes you can get an IPA that just smacks you in the face and there's loads of hops on there, and sometimes it's difficult to pick out any sort of flavours. With this one, I'm getting sort of like a really bright, fresh citrus tone. That was a cat jumping down off of the thing there. Don't worry about it. She's probably going to pounce on me anytime soon. She does in the broadcast. I'll talk to you about the broadcast in a minute. But it smells like lemony and it's very nice. So let's have a little sip then. Oh, that is lovely. Quite sharp. Bursting with citrus. Very lemony. Quite refreshing. I like that. That's quite a nice beer actually, Paul. Thank you for sending me that. It's really refreshing, you know. It's like lemons. I can taste lemons. It's got a citrus hit to it, and it's not overpowering. It's not like a, you know, like 3 or 4 different types of hops in there, so you're struggling to try and pick out the different types of flavours. For me, it's quite citrusy, and it's just clean. You know, it's really clean taste. Really nice beer. Thank you very much for sending me that. I will make use of the yeast, sir. However, we're coming to the end of the point where we're probably going to be doing brewing in this house at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the yeast with me when I move. Obviously I'm not going to leave it here, no one wants yeast today. I'm going to be taking the yeast with me. I'm going to do my first brew with some of the yeast that you sent me, Paul, so thank you for sending me all that yeast. I do appreciate it. It will get used, mate. If not all of it, then some of it will definitely get used, because you know I like to do my extract brews occasionally and my own thing. What else have I got to tell you? I'm not doing a broadcast this weekend, fellas. I'm going to take the wife out because I figure that as I've got a job now, I can afford to take her out. I haven't actually got paid yet. I'm getting paid Tuesday week, so that'd be quite nice. I'll get 5.5 weeks worth of money in one foul hit. So that'd be good. Job is going all right, fellas. It's going all right. I'm just basically I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm going in there. I'm helping them clear down the backlog of work that's outstanding for the two fellas that are snowed under with other stuff. So I'm basically at the moment I'm just doing all of the day-to-day stuff that they don't have the time to do. So I'm helping out in my own little way, and I'm just getting on with that and doing that. And they seem fairly happy with me doing that, to go in there and help them out in that fashion. They're you know, they've been brilliant. I can't really say anything bad about them, in all honesty. I think they just welcomed me with open arms, and they're just glad to see someone who sort of goes in there and just joins in and helps out, you know. So at the moment it's a big thumbs up from me. It's all right, it's going well. So thank you for asking about the job stuff. Yeah, the casting, no cast this weekend. Probably going to lay off it for a while, to be honest, fellas. I'm not feeling it at the moment. I don't know. I think it's probably because of all this work stuff that's going on at the moment. By the time I get to Saturday night, I just want to sit down and just chill out, you know. I'm just too tired to be smiley, smiley, Carol smiley all the time, you know what I mean? And just be all funky and stuff. So we'll see how we go, and I may pick it up again next week, I may not. But there's other people out there to watch other than me, and they'll be equally as good or bad depending on whether you like watching or not. Yeah, you can always find someone else to watch, can't you? That's it from me though for this week, fellas. It's good to see you. Have a very happy homebrew weekend and week, and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be, in whatever way, shape or form. Ta-da. Look after yourselves. Bye.